Hello viewers and welcome to another edition of Brave Namibia where we celebrate both ordinary and extraordinary Namibians. In our first clip today, Tanya Bowser chats to Shitalala Gorases who shares her inspiring story with us.
My name is Shitalala Gorases. I am 26 years old and I grew up here in Okanja Park. I was doing my Bachelor's of Law, so I'm a whole LLB graduate and I'm busy with my board exams this year.
About going to school, living here, growing up here, what was it like?
Growing up here was tough. But I think you did not really see something better, so you thought it was supposed to be like that. So I remember mostly we had soup kitchens. So after school, we used to food to school, and when we come back, the soup kitchen was the thing where you go get your lunch. So we would always rush home from school, go get our plates and come run to the soup kitchen so you can get your lunch. Obviously, it was not always enough, since there's more demand. So you have to be sure you should be early, with your bowl, with your spoon and your plate. And
You didn't stay here your whole life?
Yeah.
Until when did you stay here?
I stayed here until my grade 8 year. My little background is that I had a violent stepfather. I went through a lot. I went through sexual assault, molestation, and physical abuse. And later after the whole court procedure, I was placed in a children's home, me and my 2 siblings. So we went to go stay in Eros. It's called Namibian Children's Home. And that's where I stayed for my high school years.
What did you do right after high school? Did you go to study?
After high school, I first went to work. I applied for the Namibian Police Force. And yes, I was taken. I was one of the lucky people that actually got a job while I was very young. So I think I was 19 when I joined the force. So I went. I was actually studying that year. I was doing this Bachelor's of Business Management. So I put my studies on hold and I'm like, okay, wait, I'm going for training. So I went to Ndangwa, finished my training, and I came back 2015 and I went to training 2015 and 2016. I started working. So that whole year I worked and I started my studies in 2017.
That is now your law studies?
Yes.
How did you decide to apply for the police?
One thing is that I fell pregnant while I was doing my first year. The one that I told you, business management. That time it was still Polytech, now it's NAST. So knowing that, coming from this background, you gotta stand for yourself. You gotta become an adult very fast right now. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna first put my studies on hold, go for training and, get some income so that I can sustain me and my newborn that I got now. And that's how I applied for the Namibian police.
Okay, and then why did you decide to go into law?
I think when I got to the training itself, I always thought I would do something commercial, since I was in the commerce field. When I was in high school, I had business management and accounting and things such as that. I never thought of law at that time, but when I went to this training, there was a subject called law. And it was very interesting for me, Okay, comparing to my law degree right now, it was basically like 5% of criminal law subject module that we have, where they dealt with, your constitutional rights and the police and what the police does and how they're supposed to take care of you. And, I got to learn all this and I was like, this is interesting. So when I got back from the training, I was like, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find out, do I have the required marks to do this law degree? And I was like, okay, now they are requiring 30 marks. And I was like, okay, but you have 35, so score. You actually, you actually qualified, you know. So I applied for it. I always, whenever I talk to somebody else, I always tell them that I lived through every sob story that anybody can tell, you know, that people will kind of understand why you did not fulfill your, how do you say, fulfill your destiny kind of way. You know, like I can tell them, you know, as a child, I went through rape, and because of those things, I just left school, or I came out of poverty and it was very hard to go to school, or that I'm a product of a children's home and I did not receive love, and all those things, you know, it will kind of make sense, you know, for somebody to understand why you did not finish school or all that. But besides that, I always tell them, you know, if I could make it, besides all those circumstances, I think anybody can make it.
Because you've actually got the perfect excuse to throw your hands in the
Yeah.
and say, I'm done.
Of course, I do. I do. But I did not. And I think mostly it was because above everything that was going on, school was kind of the center. I put my whole attention on school because, you know, going to school was fun. And if you were doing good in school, you received love. So even though things were hard at home, the moment you go to school and you get a good mark, and teachers hug you, and you kind of become the center of, you get that little attention at school. So that was fun for me, and that was nice. And I think that's why I put so much of my time in school. I remember I used to hate it when school would close. I was like, the teacher would tell me like, okay, today it's the elder kids are starting with exams, so you don't have to come to school. You can just come collect your report Friday. And I would be like, I would hear her and I would say yes, but the next day I'm at school again, you know, because I was like, it was a way for me to get away from everything that was happening at home. I think going to the children's home, okay, now that I look at it, it's the best thing that could ever happen to me. But that time, I did not think of it like that. I was like, why is it not my stepfather to move out of the house? Why should it be us to go? And I was like, and my mom will still remain here with him and he will still, you know. So I did not like that point. I think when I went to court, I also asked them, but why can't we stay with my mom and then he moves out? Because I think if we are together, we will be fine. But I don't know. Procedures were taken, you know, that time that I did not understand. So we left. And it was very difficult. I think the most difficult thing was that when I got to Eros, they spoke Afrikaans. And coming from this background, we don't speak Afrikaans. Here, praat Damara. But that time, there were those Tannies and they were very strict on the Afrikaans speaking. And I was like, but I don't understand this language. I remember they asked my birthday and the first thing I said was, "Die 3 September," and they laughed at me and I was like, what's wrong? It's 3 so, and then they had to explain to me, okay, that's not how you use the language. But besides that, the other challenging thing was also because you were gone from the people that you know, even though, you know, it's hardship. You kind of made a family here, you know. You got used to these people that are the same with you. And when I got that side, it was totally a different environment. The language, the rules, the whole set. Okay, yes, there, everything was there. I remember being so excited because there was a shower and hot water. So I really did not lack any of the basic food and things such as that. But I still kind of hoped. If it was up to me, I was like, but I think all of my friends are supposed to come here, you know, because I'm like, okay, here you get attention and you get food and you get pocket money. So, but I always thought about still the others, you know, that could not make it, the people that were running to the soup kitchen with me, you know, to be on time to get their lunch. Yeah. My dream for the future is to be as successful as I can be. You know, I don't want to just end with my LLB. I still have hopes, and I actually even saw what I will specialize in. So I'm still gonna continue my studies. Jy, my lewe was nie maklik nie, maar ek het dit gedoen en ek dink julle sal dit ook as julle dit net bietjie push.
The Agenda is a weekly national affairs interview program hosted every Sunday by Namibian Sun editor Toyvon Jabela, featuring a panel of high-profile newsmakers, analysts, and experts. The Agenda aims to reach high-end news consumers seeking informed understanding of national issues. This show is broadcasted on NTV, 1up2.com, and the Namibia Media Holdings Facebook platform. The Agenda focuses on interviews where we put the nation in the hot seat. Contact Agenda at synergy.com.na to get your product and service in the hot seat. The Agenda, focused on today's conversation.
Next, Junior Kapofi caught up with the illustrious Miss Gideon.
And of course, the Pretty Vibes hit maker, influencer, artist, a woman of many titles. How are you and how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. You could be in the studio, you could be keeping yourself busy, but you're here.
You're welcome.
All right, so please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Where do I start?
Yeah.
Well, my name is Miss Gideon. I am a Namibian female artist,
Yes.
or aspiring to be a female artist. I am an influencer,
Yeah.
and I own the brand Pretty Vibes.
Yes.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
basically, I don't know what else to say about myself.
Oh, and you know, people always stuck when I say, tell me about yourself. They're just like, you know.
Because I really don't know which part to start with.
Yeah. Okay, but like, tell us, how long have you been singing?
Okay, so I've been singing for like quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
I have actually quite an embarrassing clip, but I don't have it right now. I wish I had it, so you guys would know like
Where it
since
started.
where it started.
Yeah.
So like I said, I think when I was like 9 or something, but like I didn't think I was gonna take it professionally.
Yeah.
Or that was never the aim.
Mm.
Like until people started asking for more and more and more, I was like, okay, I think I can actually make this a thing.
Amazing.
So-
Amazing. All right, so now that you're planning on making it a thing, I mean, you performed at the Love Tamini tour, Perna Boy, on the same stage. I mean, what you mean? So tell us, do you think this is something that you feel like you're going to do full time? You're just going to get into it, be a studio hun, and be creating hits like nobody's business?
Well, I would like to think that if I was probably in another country, I'd like to take it as full time, but like
Yeah.
being in a country like Namibia where we are still growing and
Yeah.
developing, you cannot only have music as your main source of income, if you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
True.
So it's like, I'm not going to take it as full time. It's probably going to be like just on the side
Mm-hmm.
as a passion, obviously, but like I'm aspiring to do other things.
Yeah.
So-
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. I'm not going to ask what other things are you aspiring to do, because the fact that you didn't say it already tells us
Yes,
that
other
it's not
things.
something that you want to disclose. All right, so tell me, run me through that feeling when your song Pretty Vibes featuring Yeezy, of course. How did that feeling when everybody was doing the challenges on TikTok, posting, Pretty Vibes only, tell me, what was the feeling that you felt, and how did you celebrate?
Okay, like, so when I started with the brand Pretty Vibes, I didn't like think people would actually like make it a hashtag type of vibe. So like seeing that, obviously, and seeing something that came from you, something that you started with, a movement that you started, it's kind of, it's heartwarming, if you're not, like, you understand what I'm saying. And also being part of the song Pretty Vibes is, we didn't know that the song was gonna reach the heights that it's reaching right now. So it's like, it's a blessing to feel like that, and it's a blessing to experience it. In like, it's overwhelming in a good way.
Yeah. And I think it already like reached, and it exceeded your expectations, was probably before it even got released, because I remember you and Yeezy just released like a small clip, and we were all going crazy on the socials. So tell me, who are your dream collaborations in the future? Who is that person that you'd want to feature when you officially now get into a space where you are making music, releasing an EP, releasing an album?
I don't really want to say who I want to feature, even though I have them at the back of my head. Because I don't want to give people expectations that I can't live up to. You understand? So I would just like to say that, no, you should watch the space and see what we come up with, because, life can change. I might say something now and it might end up being different. So I don't want to be like that, or I don't want to give it out like that. So I would just like to say, like, you guys should just watch the space, and I hope what we give out you like.
I'm just waiting. I can't wait for it to just come out so that you can see, because I feel like you have so much to give, and you are just a bubble that is ready to burst.
I am ready to burst, so ready.
All right, so before I let you go also, could you share a little bit about how you juggle everything? You're an influencer, you're an artist, you're listening music, you're trending on TikTok, and you know about TikTok is something that requires a lot of time and energy, because you're always hopping on trends. So how do you balance everything?
Well, I'm not gonna say it's easy, because it's not. Like, you do get your off days, days where you maybe feel like, nah, I should be doing better, or just your off days, man, in general. I don't know how other people's off days feel, but off days are off days for me. So it's like these days where you just feel like, to start off with, I'm not really a social person. I just became social, or like I just started posting more on social media because of the singing videos, obviously, and people were like, no, we want you to do more of that and stuff like that. So I'm not really a social person. I would post something and get off immediately.
Oh, okay.
So like, what I do is I just do my job, I do what I have to do, and I live my life. So it's not really, it doesn't really interfere with a lot of my personal space or anything like that, because I just do what I have to do, and then I get off, like, go live my life. I don't take it seriously as well, so I don't take it to the head. Like, if you see me there and be like, oh, you have this amount of followers on Instagram, it doesn't make a difference to me, because it's not real life.
Oh, okay. I love that. You know what? I think there's just a lot that I could learn from you right now. But for anybody that is watching from home, an aspiring Miss Gideon, perhaps someone that would like to tap into music, tap into influencing, because I see that so many people see influencing as a career. In Namibia, it's actually starting to grow, which is an amazing thing. So any advice that you have for those aspiring Miss Gideons that are watching from home?
Okay, well, my advice to people out there is that, like, it starts with being like yourself. The moment you start trying to be like somebody else, that's like where you mess up the most, because it's like you're giving off energy that doesn't belong to you. You're trying to be something that you are not. So like, when you give out yourself, and when you give out the person, your personality is unique. Everybody's personality is unique, and when you give out yourself, people will like you for you, and that's like one of the biggest things that people don't know, because the moment you start being like somebody else, it's like, oh, we've seen that before. But like, once you start, it's like, you see, Pretty Vibes, start a movement like that nobody knows about.
And nobody really like taps into until they see the potential.
You understand? So like, try to tap in more on that side, and obviously you have those days where you feel like, am I really good at this? Do I really want to do this?
Yeah.
But like, you shouldn't give up and you should just think of what you actually really want. You should also think that is influencing what I want. Is music what I want to do?
Yeah.
Don't just do something because you see other people doing it, you know?
Yeah, so very, very important. Which reminds me of a conversation that I think Nahed and Jemima had on something, nothing but the tea, about the death of originality, which is actually a very good point that you're
So like
raising
if you know you can sing, you know, we have people that know how to sing, like really good, but do they want to be artists?
Yeah.
No. And we have people that like, you want to be an influencer, but you don't know, like you have a certain type of things that you still need to fix. If you feel like you have the potential to, or if you know that you have the potential to be one, then let me not stop you from doing that. But if you are just doing it because it seems interesting and it's because somebody else is doing it, then I suggest that you try to do something else. Do something sick deep within and, like, you know, get something that you want to do.
Wow, thank you so much for your wise words, and thank you so much for joining us today, taking time out of your busy schedule to be here.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
All right.
Thank you for tuning in today. If you know of someone you feel should feature on our show, please contact us at brave@nmh.com.na.